everyone. My name is Sydney Graff. A little bit about myself is I have been married for about five and a half years now. We have two amazing children that you can see in the picture there, a boy and a girl. They keep me very, very busy. A little bit about my work background. I am a special education teacher. I teach instructional strategies primarily for grades kindergarten, first, and second grade, but I do assist very frequently with third and fourth graders as well. I refer to my students as my kids too. I will be probably one of the largest advocates, other than their parents, that they will have in their life for them. I give them anything that they need to make them successful, whether it's breakfast, an extra pencil, or just some extra tender love and care. Some of my hobbies include eating food, because you can't ever go wrong there. Baking, I love to bake, being outdoors, making memories with my family, and I love to spend my time on Pinterest, but I am definitely one of those typical people who pins everything but never uses any of it. So my school's use of appropriate content-based learning materials for students with special needs, we obviously have IEPs and 504s, and since that is a legal document, obviously we're required to carry those out, so those are present in my school building. We do have the MTSS tiers within our building, and we are a Title I school, so we offer more intensive support than some other buildings might, being that we're Title I. We do have a student intervention team, also known as our SIT team, where we'll meet and bring our concerns to the table about particular students and try to come up with strategies and accommodations for those kiddos to try to help make them successful before they would need something like special education. There's assistive technology present in our building. It's pretty minor assistive technology in the use of forms like iPads or a smart board or a Mimeo board. We also have a therapy room. This is primarily used for our occupational and physical therapist. However, if we have students that might need a sensory break throughout the day, we do have that available to them. We have the resource room, which is the special education classroom. We have two instructional strategies classrooms, and we have a pre-K classroom that takes all different types of disabilities. So regardless of if they're in a wheelchair and nonverbal, or maybe they are very high functioning, all students are in that classroom together and they learn from one another. There are curriculum modifications that are present within our school without the use of special education. That could be something like a reduced spelling list, or possibly reducing the amount of options on a multiple choice question. We have instruction modifications that are present, maybe repeating directions, reading things out loud to them, as well as we accommodate those students who need those accommodations within our buildings. We are wheelchair accessible, things like that we have present. So how is this facilitated within our building? We have professional development monthly, sometimes at a district level, sometimes at a building level. And we discuss things like special needs students, not necessarily special education, although that is brought up frequently. It is also facilitated on a student by student basis. So we understand that what one student needs may not be what every student needs. And it's also done through frequent communication, whether that's verbally, electronically, or through papers and forms that we have. We are always collaborating together to find out what's best for each student. So my own personal use of these learning materials for students with special needs, well, I am a special education teacher, so I feel like I do have a little bit of an upper hand on this than what some people may. It is part of my job to make sure that those IEPs, those legal documents, are carried out with fidelity and to their highest potential. I am trained in the Orton-Gillingham methods, which is just a method of teaching, a multisensory approach to teaching. I use assistive technology. I have modified programs within my classroom, so I can change and adapt a curriculum for a child to best meet their needs, or they may be on an entirely different curriculum than what the rest of their peers are in the general education classroom. I accommodate my students This could be through the use of furniture, the way that my classroom is set up. I use tables more than I use desks. It just depends on my student needs. The supplementary aids and services, these are things like breaking down directions, test modifications, testing accommodations, um, sensory breaks that they may need throughout their day, visual supports, things like that. I am a part of our student intervention team as well as our MTSS planning team, as I represent Tier 3 when it comes to that. Individualized learning experiences. Again, that is individualizing each student's learning experience and the type of modality that they may need that. And then also collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. I am always communicating, whether that be with my students, my staff, parents, administration, specialists, therapists, everybody. We are constantly talking so that we can be a true team for those students and get them what they need. So my plan or my school's plan to promote the continuous improvement in regards with students with special needs is, to continue that professional development. If there is something that one of us would maybe pick up on at a conference or a symposium or something like that, or it's just a best practice that we feel we're using in our classroom that is proven through data that it's successful with students, then why would we not share that with everyone else? So continue that professional development. I would love to see more inclusive services in my building. I feel like sometimes the general education teachers feel frustrated or maybe a little bit defeated when it comes to special needs students because they just don't quite know how to meet their needs with everyone else present. I would love for that to look like something like a class within a class so that I could be present in the classroom with those students, that I could help that teacher so we could kind of figure that out as a team. And then, of course, go to trainings and things like that as needed. So what impact does funding have on my plan? Well, it would depend on what kind of professional development or trainings we would go to. Some of that stuff is free, some of it is a little bit pricey. So in those situations, maybe we would send department heads and then we would bring it back as a whole group. Or maybe we would send the people who chair specific committees or teams in our school building and then bring that again back as a whole group. So funding, it would just depend, but I wouldn't expect for it to be anything extreme. So that is my introduction video for this course, and I look forward to learning from all of you this semester.